Hi guys, Master Indigo here. Today we are gonna be talking about Overkill The Walking Dead, and a recent developer asked me anything on Reddit and what they answered and so on. So a Reddit user, Synergy Runner, has compiled most of these answers into a single post. So if you want to read this without watching the video, you can do so. I will link it down in the comments below or in the description. Anyways, we can go over all of these points, or you can read it or at the same time. Anyways, so here are the things that they have said in the recent AMA. So at the launch, the game will support English, French, German, Italian, Spanish, Russian and Brazilian Portuguese, as well as simplified Chinese. So if you want to play the game in different languages than English, that's always nice to have the option. And maybe in the future they will have more languages available, but so on. So this will only cover all the text in game, so audio will be English only. So post-launch content will be a mixture of paid as well as a free DLC, and they have said to have absolutely no loot boxes or microtransactions. And Overkill, well, originally they said in Payday 2 that there would be no microtransactions, and 2015 they still introduced them, so looks like they are gonna be trying to avoid that situation and saying no to loot boxes and microtransactions straight away, and hopefully they keep on from that. So the contract for the Overkill between Overkill and Skybound for the Walking Dead franchise was signed for 10 years, and originally this contract was signed in 2014, which means whenever the game comes out later this year, it will still have like 6 years of time, and between that six years we will receive more updates and so on. If the game succeeds, obviously there's gonna be more updates, maybe even the full 6 years, maybe even extending beyond that. If the game doesn't, I wouldn't expect 6 years, but we shall see. Hopefully it goes well. The game is an online co-op game, and it will have daily as well as weekly events that require constant online connection. So looks like if there's daily missions, you won't be able to complete them in offline mode, but hopefully they will reintroduce an offline mode like Payday 2 has CrimeNet offline, because not everybody has a constant online connection, and some people have online connection but they lose the connection sometimes, and it would kind of suck if that connection was necessary. So as per usual, the difficulty will scale up if you're playing alone compared to if you play 4 players, 2 players, 3 players. So it's gonna be harder if you're playing with 4 players, so that every player has something to do, and it's gonna be a little bit easier if you're playing alone, and so on. One thing they are not gonna have is a split screen co-op, something that has been missing from many games these years on console releases as well as PC releases. No split screen co-op. If you wanna play with your friends, it's gonna be 1 player per console, 1 player per PC. The developers have confirmed that there's gonna be a beta before the launch of the game, and if you pre-order the game on Steam, you will get access to that beta. There is no currently news whenever the beta will go, other than it's gonna be a few weeks prior to launch for those who pre-ordered. And sadly, no cross-platform play. It's gonna be Xbox players playing between Xbox players, PlayStation players playing between PlayStation players, and PC players playing between PC players. I mean, Sony doesn't really like cross-play, but Xbox and PC could be possible, but it's not gonna happen, at least at this point in time. Maybe in the future, one can hope. The gameplay you see in the background is from E3, and it's an early internal beta. So hopefully all the issues that happened in this gameplay, animations and things like that, are gonna be improved in the future, and maybe it's gonna be a little bit more refined experience than what was shown at E3. At launch, the game will have 4 difficulties: normal, hard, very hard and overkill. Same as Payday 2 had at launch. Later on, Payday 2 has had way more difficulties added, and maybe this game will as well, but currently it's gonna be having 4 difficulty modes, and hopefully those will be entirely different, have more more than just bullet spongy enemies when you turn up the difficulty. But hopefully that's the case, but we shall see more in the future. There is no permadeath. If you die all in the mission, all 4 players die, you will need to start the level all over again, and you will lose items and weapons that you have collected in the level. So this is basically the same as Payday 2. If you lose your heist, you will start again or restart the heist and lose items, weapons. That you have collected. The levels will have some secret stashes that you can get. In order to keep the items from there, you have to extract them and escape and complete the mission. At launch there's gonna be 40 weapons and about 200 weapon modes. And 40 weapons, I'm not sure if they're counting melee weapons. If they are, 40 weapons is not that much. And as the game is quite heavily focused on melee, as you can see in the E3 gameplay, especially against walkers, the stealth part, I do think that the 40 weapons does include the melee weapons, and I would say about 10 of these might be melee weapons. But hopefully, post-launch content will introduce way more weapons that the game will have at launch. The characters you have in the game are class-based, and as such, each one has their unique abilities and passive perks. So if you want to play the medic, you will always have to play the same character and so on. This is a little bit different from Payday 2, because in Payday 2 the perks and skill trees are not tied to the character and you can use any character you want, but in Overkill The Walking Dead it seems to be the opposite. And if many people want to use the same character, that's possible, but so that it wouldn't sound too stupid, if there's 2 Mayas on the level, whoever is playing the Maya character will hear Maya and the other character will hear a different voice. So you will hear Maya for yourself and the other guy who is playing Maya is gonna hear Maya from themselves and a different voice actor for the other sounds.
Great work. Fire your flare to signal Caleb. Let's get you guys home.
As with Payday 2, there's gonna be more achievements added post-launch. Maybe some challenges, maybe some unlockables from those, just as Payday 2. And this is obviously great news for those who want to hunt down achievements. I'm not myself too keen on achievements. If the achievements unlock something, I will most likely be doing those. But otherwise, I don't really care about having 100% achievements or anything like that. But for those who want them, it's great, it's great. So the big part of the game seems to be the camp. Kinda like the safe house in Payday 2, but it's gonna be having a much bigger role. If you add more things to the camp, the more NPC survivors you can host on that camp. You can also send those NPC characters to scavenge items for you, and having more people also means that you will need more food. So you will need to be a little bit smart how you expand your camp, and also other survivors out there will want what you have. So it's possible there's gonna be raids that other survivors are gonna be raiding your safe house, camp, just like the police raid your safe house in Payday 2. Maybe the safe house raid was a kind of like a test version on how the whole idea of survival on the camp would work on Overkill The Walking Dead, and let's see. There will be no bullet penetration on walls or hard surface covers, so you cannot shoot through those. But you can shoot through glass and flesh, and you can perform double headshots with some high caliber weapons, so it's same as Payday 2, nothing complicated. There will be no VR mode at launch, maybe in the future, but currently no plans for VR, at least yet. Payday 2 didn't have VR until late last year, the beta and full release this year, and the VR version has been absolutely amazing for everyone who owns Payday 2. They can have the VR version for free. But for now, there's no plans for VR version for Overkill The Walking Dead. They are trying to focus making the base game, normal game mode, as polished as possible and focus on that. The people who were concerned about animations and combat looked clunky, hit detection was all over the place. Overkill has said that they have a gameplay first methodology, which means that they will first They want to make the game fun, and after that they want to balance out all the issues they have, and that's what they had at E3, a fun gameplay experience for those who wanted to test it out, and now they will iron out the issues. So this is most of the things that are important, and if you want to read through all of them a little bit more, special questions and answers focusing on different things, you can do so in the link below. It's a Reddit AMA all gathered in a single post, so if you want any answers you might have had, read through those and maybe your question is already there. And hopefully Overkill will do more of these questions and answers in the future before the launch of the game, and we will get answers to our questions. And I've said the same words way too many times for now. Anyways, I hope at least some of these questions and answers, there it goes again, are important to you and gave you some insight on what the game will be like whenever it launches later this year on November 6th and 8th. Anyways, that's all for this video. I hope you guys are all having a good day. I'll see you next time, whenever that is. Master Indigo, signing out.